What is going on, guys? Maddie from DCLblogger.com. In this video, I wanted to go through why this particular estate that sold for a whopping 215,000 US dollars or 2.7 million mana. Why did it sell for that much? Where does the value come from? And yeah, why did this break records? Why are these seemingly useless pixels worth anything at all? I'm sure there's a bunch of questions that are in people's minds, whether you're a new investor or you've randomly stumbled upon Decentraland or you've been here for a while. I'm going to go through this in a couple of different parts. The first part is understanding what Decentraland is and what we hope Decentraland will become. And the second part of this video is going to be going through current land market valuations, the current market climate, and why he paid that particular price. And maybe we don't know who this person is, but you know what we think he might use the land for. So first of all, what the hell is Decentraland? Why are people buying these pixels on the marketplace for, you know, 20,000, 25,000, sometimes even like 50,000 mana, which is 10,000 mana is currently at mana being 8 cents at the moment. Like 10,000 mana is like 800 US dollars. Why are these pixels selling for 800 US dollars minimum? Some even selling for like tens of thousands of US dollars. First of all, guys, Decentraland is a lot more than what you see here. What you see here is just a massive map. Okay, just an overall map of a bird's eye view of what the world is going to look like. It's literally just, as it says, an atlas view. It's an atlas view of everyone's land ownership. Okay, now this here in the bottom right is the main map. And as you move around the map, all these small pixels you see here, these squiggly pixels, the squiggly lines, these are roads that are expected to be kind of walked along when you enter the world in virtual reality. Decentraland is a virtual reality world. So each little pixel symbolizes 10 by 10 meters in length and width in land dimensions, and a minimum of 20 meters build height. The more pixels you have, the more build height, the more pixels you have joined to each other, the higher you can build. So something like this, you can build pretty damn high. And this estate here, you can build pretty damn high. The light blue kind of pixels or boxes, these are the lands that are listed for sale. The ones that are purple, these are districts. All right, so there's about 50 districts all around Decentraland that all are aiming to build different things. These are led by teams or project leads that are building a certain experience within the world. So just to give you an idea, let's have a look at some of the stuff that is currently being built. And a really good Twitter to follow is ACL Crypto. I think his name is Chris. Chris has made a game on one of his parcels, just a fun thing just to play around with, just to see the mechanisms of what the world could become. Just playing around with the game. He's built a mansion. He's built a nice big world where you can kind of go in there and see the crypto collectibles he has. You can go watch TV, you can go kind of play games, you can go browse the internet or the computer. We're just kind of like, land ownership in Decentraland is literally less than a year old. So we're still kind of figuring out what can be done with it, the potentials of what it could be. What's this? This is one of the districts, I think, Sci Art Lab. You know, they're building like a science kind of laboratory. All these things are being made, and not just individual parcels are being developed, but games are coming on board to build games and experiences. And DCL Plazas has done a really good job of summarizing a few of the games, just 5 of the games that are coming out that are, you know, set to be released on the virtual reality platform Decentraland. Crypto Cars is coming around. They're going to be building kind of like a drag racing, kind of racing around Decentraland game. Chain Breakers, which is going to be like an RPG, where the current crowd sale is out, where you can buy swords and all that kind of stuff to equip in. And Chain Breakers is really cool because what they've done is they've released a game, and what they've done is, check this out, the game quest areas will be deployed around the metaverse, which requires the players to travel as the storyline progresses. Chain Breakers partners up with Decentraland land investors. For them, it will be possible to generate passive dividends by hosting quest areas on their parcels. So can you imagine having land that, you know, game developers need or people need, wanting to build on those areas. They want to build experiences on those lands. Okay, now these are just 5 games out of like plenty of games, guys. Crypto Beasties, which is kind of like a card game that's releasing. Ethereum, which is a little bit like Pokemon, kind of battling your Pokemon type creatures in VR. What else do you have? Scrapyard Escape, which is a game being built by Decentraland themselves. Like, this is just 5 of the many games. I think there's about 10 or 15 that Decentraland have already partnered with that are dedicated to building exclusive to Decentraland game titles thus far. Okay, and we haven't even launched the world yet. The world is launching hopefully by the end of this year, or probably by Q1 next year. So very soon, it is around the corner. But that's what the value of these pixels are. These pixels kind of show the land that you own, and they go about, where's the world? Okay, here. So each pixel represents a 10 by 10 meter block. The more pixels you have adjacent to each other, for example, this 20-piece pixel, 20-piece land, the height of it is going to be dictated by a formula, right? Now, what that formula is, the scene limitation is log 2 n plus 1 times 20. So if you put that into a calculator, n being the number of lands. So let's just write type 1 in this formula. This gives us log 2 to 2 in the brackets times 20. So let's see, I've got a log base 2 calculator out here. Log base 2 of number 2, which is 1. Okay, log base 2 of 2 is 1. So 1 times 20 is 20 meters. So if you have 1 pixel, which is 10 by 10 meters, then your max build height is 20 meters. Now, the moment you have something like, say, 20 or 30 pixels, 20 or 30 lands that are adjacent to each other, check it out. So let's go log to 31, right? So it's n plus 1. You have 4.95. Now, 4.95 times 20, I kind of do that in my head, which is about 100 meters. It's just shy of 100 meters. I think it's 99 meters. So if you have 30 lands connected to each other, then your build height increases from 20 meters to 100 meters, guys. That's like 5 times the build height of one parcel. So you can see the value of lands connected to each other, okay? So let's just say the land that's sold, it sold 126 pieces that are joined together. So let's say 127, because 126 plus 1. Now calculate that, 6.9, it's about 7. So that's 140 meters in build height, which is gigantic. It's huge. You can build a lot of experiences within that kind of space, okay? Now, I don't really want to go through like why Decentraland is so awesome, but you really have to understand how much momentum is behind this project, considering that there's like 50 districts out there dedicated to building experiences. And if you join the Discord, then you can kind of go down the channels and check out where each of the districts are at. So these are all the districts. You got Arena, you got Bittrex Tomorrow, Central Business District, Central Marketplace. This is Fashion Street that I'm in at the moment. You can see he's built like this fashion street type thing, hopefully attracting, you know, businesses to come set up shop, and we can go up and down and check out all these shops and items and products for sale. It's all kinds of things, guys. China City, Crypto Valley. Crypto Valley is insanely interesting. One of the reasons why is because check this out, right? So this is Crypto Valley over here. It's located in a pretty good area, pretty central. But the really cool thing about Crypto Valley is it's led by the Elf team, which are the cryptocurrency over here. These guys and another investment firm have come together to build a kind of Silicon Valley type area where you can go and pitch your product, pitch your ICO, do business, have business meetings, and all that kind of stuff. And they obviously have the money and capability to build that. But for me, it solidifies Decentraland's position within the blockchain community of having partnerships of this caliber, along with other games like blockchain games that are coming out that are seeing the potential in Decentraland and are building kind of a virtual reality arm to their gaming experience. So that for me is amazing to see that momentum going on. So that's where a lot of the kind of value behind Decentraland comes But again, like there is only a limited amount of land in this whole map. All right, these green boxes, these are kind of Decentraland owned Genesis plazas, we call them. So this is Central Genesis Plaza, which is expected to be the spawn point, and this is going to be where like some community events are going to be held, some experiences built by the Decentraland team themselves. There's about 9 Genesis plazas all around the whole world. Let me try to show you what one of the Genesis Plaza looks like. So here is the Vegas themed Genesis Plaza. It's quite big, and it's just the model has been created. You can see that there's a bunch of things to explore. It's like lagging the crap out of my computer, to be honest, but like you can just see the design that's gone behind this. Just for starters, like it's pretty damn cool. There's quite a lot of things to explore. You can only imagine the type of experiences that will be on this plaza once it does kind of open up to the world. This one is located in the top left. So this is a Genesis Plaza over here. You can see this is the Vegas City District, District X, Festival Land, which is in the top left corner. Okay. Then there's also I'm gonna close this because it's kind of like ruining my lag. But there's another one, the medieval kind of themed plaza. I don't exactly know where this is going to be located, but you can see that there's another. This is another one of those big green blocks. This is the type of theme that they're going to be going for. But you can see what it is probably going to look like when it opens up. Decentraland's going to be a big world to explore. Like there's about a 350, 100. How much is it? 50, 100, 150 by 150, I think it is. There's about 300 pixels wide and 300 pixels kind of in length, and each pixel being 10 meters. That's like 3,000 meters in length, 3,000 meters in width. Plenty of space to explore, guys. So people are kind of rushing to Decentraland to grab one of these pixels of lands because there's only a limited amount, right? These dark gray ones, like these dark gray ones, they haven't been sold yet to anyone. It has no owner on it. And what happened at the start, there was an auction sometime last year, at the end of last year, to sell as many lands as Decentraland could. And I think from memory there's about 35,000 or 45,000 private lands all up in Decentraland, and out of that I think 35,000 were sold. And you could bid a minimum of 1,000 mana for your block of land. And you can see that there were many of these lands, if you can see, at auction price, they sold for about 1,000, 1,563. This one sold for 1,000. The more desirable they were, the more they kind of sold for. So the ones connected to a Genesis Plaza itself, you can see this one sold for 11,655. The more central you went, the more expensive it got. Like you can see some of these parcels sold for quite a lot of money, 291,000 mana. This one over here in the kind of corner, 381,000 mana. They were all sold for different prices because there was a bidding war for the 2 weeks or so the auction ran for. People bid against each other for these lands, and eventually when the 2 weeks ended up finishing, there's a bunch of lands that was unsold. So all of these dark gray pixels of lands, these were still unsold, and the auction is expected to be, the second auction for these lands is expected to be quite soon. So if you are a new investor, there should be opportunity for you to come in and buy land. So let's kind of move on to why this specific land sold for this much money. Okay, now to understand this, you really need to understand the current prices of land. And the thing that kind of the formula that dictates or sets the amount of the market price is what people are willing to buy it for and what people are willing to sell it for. Now, if you're familiar with looking at order books when you're trading cryptocurrency coins, you know that transactions are only made when both the buyer and the seller agree to a price. Once the price matches, the transaction is made. Each person swaps the assets. Each person involved in the transaction swaps the assets. And the same thing applies with the Decentraland land market. You can see, like here, this is nonfungible.com, which do a really good job of showing the historical price sales that have happened. Plenty of lands that have sold for 9,000, 10,000 mana. These are at the lower end of the marketplace. If I were to order the marketplace, buy the cheapest. Let's go cheapest. It's about at 10,000 mana. You can buy a land kind of not really connected to anything in the middle of nowhere. Like this one's at the far outskirts, right? As these lands are connected to single roads, as they're connected to more kind of iconic areas like this Decentraland sign, or if they're connected to the center, the more and more expensive they tend to get. So a lot of these lands were sold for 10,000 mana. You can see a lot of people kind of coming in and buying these cheaper parcels, 10,000 mana. But before that, there's plenty of people that have bought up kind of more expensive parcels in more desirable areas. So this one's connected to a single road, quite close to a district. Let's see what else was sold. So 39,900. This one's connected to a double road, a lot more closer to the districts. 50,000 mana. Okay, now we're getting quite expensive. So this is within the 50-50 quadrant. Within the 50-50 quadrant at the top. So this kind of 4 quadrants over here, center quadrants, kind of seen as a center type area, expected to have a lot of kind of traffic, right? Yeah, so this land, I think it's sold over here, up here somewhere, on this double road, right? Or what was the coordinates? Minus 2249. So minus 2249. Maybe this one over here. Minus 2249. So this person who purchased it is kind of put it back up for sale for 150,000 mana. It was sold at 6,000 mana 9 months ago during the auction. 2 days ago it sold for 50,000 mana. This person is trying to sell it for 150,000 mana. So a lot of people kind of buying and selling land at the moment. And I've made a lot of money, guys, just buying and selling land. Like I've at least done about 200 plus transactions buying and selling buying and selling land. So there's plenty of opportunity, plenty of momentum going on within Decentraland. So now, finally, let's go to this land that's sold for 126 parcels, which are considered an estate. So anything that is joined, which is more than one parcel kind of joined together, is referred to as an estate. So all of these transactions that you are seeing here, these are all for individual single parcels of land, 1 pixel only. Okay, now if you go to the Decentraland estate kind of page, then you will see that these are all estates that are multiple lands joined together. This one's just 2 pieces. This one is 3 pieces. What else do we have, guys? What else do we have? This one is also 3 pieces. 149,000. This one is 10 pieces. This was actually mine. I sold about 3 days ago. 375,000. This one's, what's this? 15 lands. So you can see that lands that are connected to a double road, a district as well, 15 lands sold for 375,000 mana. I believe if I do some quick math, that's about 25,000 mana a piece. You can see it gets more and more expensive as you get more, because there is a limited amount of estates, guys. There's not that many kind of joined. If you're a bigger developer and you're looking for a parcel of land that is of a bigger size, so this one over here is about 40 by 40 meters. It's quite decent, and it's 4 by 4, so 16 parcels. So it should give you a much higher build limit than just 20 meters. It should give you about 60 to 70 meters. So if you're looking for a bigger type area, then there's not really many to come, and there's not that many for sale, right? So estates of kind of medium size, closer to the center, or even bigger they are, closer to the center, they're worth a lot of money. But the further you go, the cheaper the estates get, the cheaper the parcels get. And generally speaking, like, so for this one is sold for 2.7 million, which is about 50,000 mana each. This one is for sale for about 50,000 mana each, 28 lands connected to each other. So the one that sold, right, sold for about 2.7 million mana. So this one over here, an estate of this size of 126 lands, kind of averaged out to about 20,000 mana, I believe 22,000 mana per individual parcel. So it is not as cheap as 10,000 mana, but you're not going to get many estates. Where am I going? You're not going to get many estates of that size, with each land kind of only being 22,000 mana. So this one over here, it's about 30,000 mana per land. It's only 32 lands, right? That one was 126 pieces kind of joined together, guys. So just think of, if you are many bigger investors, what they're aiming to do is hold on to their land. They may be interested in developing themselves, but I can see them interested in holding on to these really big, rare plots of lands, whether they're just 1 pixel or multiple pixels, multiple lands connected to each other, and renting them out to developers that are going to be onboarded to build their virtual reality experiences, because they need land at the end of the day, right? And there's already about, like I said before, there's already about 10 to 15 games that are coming out on Decentraland so far, and the world hasn't even opened up yet. So you can imagine, once they open up the world, start marketing, full throttle their marketing, build and bring on all these new game developers, they all need land. So when Decentraland released the rent function, so far they've actually released a mortgage function. I don't think you can see it here, but there is usually a button for mortgage. Where is it? Can't see it, but you can mortgage your land now, so you can sell it on a kind of rent to own or a lease to own. You'll have to pay interest and all that kind of stuff. So people that are entering Decentraland have another option to purchase land, but eventually you'll have an option to rent land officially through the Decentraland marketplace, which will open up doors for a bunch of people, a bunch of developers that may not want to dump down $1,000 on a land. They may want to just put down, you know, $50 a month just to trial it out and build something, see how it goes. So at the end of the day, the value for Decentraland is coming from what it is we all hope it's going to become, and the scarcity of these lands, the partnerships Decentraland have themselves. Decentraland are they're pretty big market cap as well. Their coin Mana has remained quite stable. It's about 8 cents at the moment, and when I bought in, it was about 20 cents. That was sometime in, I think, February, March. So it's gone down to about half, considering the market has absolutely been wrecked. There has been, you know, big coins like Neo have gone down from 200 US to about 16 US. That's less than 10x. That's like less than 90% or more than 90% dip, right? That's like really big coins. Even Ripple or even Ethereum went down from 1400 to 200. Bitcoin went down 3x. So Mana has remained relatively stable as once, you know, compared to the BTC Satoshi value, and that's a good sign. So Mana has kept its value, and people are utilizing the Mana token to do a bunch of things. Like I mentioned before, there is that game Chainbreakers that are holding their pre-sale with Mana. So it's not Ethereum that you need to buy the game items here. It is Mana. You need Mana token to participate in the Chainbreakers ICO or the pre-sale, which is really cool, because imagine if these other games come on board and you have to, and they, you know, hold pre-sales and all that kind of stuff, and you need Mana token to participate and buy items and all that kind of stuff, giving Mana more utility. And eventually this marketplace Decentraland is aiming to be a big marketplace where you can buy and sell land, you can buy and sell items within games. It's going to be huge, guys. It's aiming to be a platform for virtual reality experiences. So I know I talked about a lot of stuff, but it's hard to just explain where the value for that kind of estate came from. But it's a culmination of a lot of things that make or land ownership or digital land ownership great. It's confusing. It sounds like you're just owning, you know, I don't know. It feels like you're really just owning thin air, because what the hell is virtual land? But we are in a space, cryptocurrency, where everything is just like a little token in your wallet. Like, it's not really worth anything unless people give value to it, and that's where the value has come from. It's the reason why Bitcoin is currently trading at 6,400, why it traded once upon a time at $20,000 is because the value was given. People were willing to buy it at $20,000, and people saw the value there. So Decentraland land at the moment is currently sitting at $800 or $1,000, about 10,000 Mana, the cheapest. But it in my opinion, at least relative to fiat, it will continue to grow, as this concept of virtual land ownership is bringing a lot of opportunity for people to make money, build experiences, and kind of have a lot of fun with the crypto space at the moment. But yeah, everyone, hope you guys learned a lot. I love making these videos. I like explaining about what Decentraland is, hopefully what it will become. I'm very big on Decentraland, have invested a lot of money, have invested a lot of time, and you know, I like learning about this stuff and tweeting or sharing it on my YouTube video.
So yeah, see you guys in another video.